All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to ProgrammingMadeEasy.com, and thank you so much for joining me today in my live call-in show. That's right. It's going to be a little bit different than my typical Q&A. Typically my Q&A stuff, you guys just have to ask me questions in the little live chat. But today, I thought I'd mix it up. I was able to set this up for using Google Hangouts, so I thought, well, why not let you guys actually ask me more directly, so that way you guys can actually interact with me a bit more, a bit more mano a mano or womano mono, whatever you want to say. So I thought I would kind of start off today with a couple of news articles. So let me get this switched over here so you guys can see. I should be able to. I think I'm allowed to change screens. Am I allowed to change screens? Come on, can I share my screen? Am I not allowed to share my screen? I thought I could share my screen in this. No. Uh-oh. Steve didn't think this all the way through. Oh no. I thought I could. Come on. I've been able to share my screen before on this thing. Where is it? Uh-oh. I guess I can't share my screen. You guys are just gonna have to look right at me, I guess. Oh, there it is. Screen share. Found it. Oh, that makes me feel better. Okay, so what are we looking at here? I'm looking for, yeah, we'll do this one. Application window. There we go. Look at that. So, a Google Brain program is learning how to program. Ooh. Yikes. Well, we kind of figured this was probably going to come down the pipe, right? There have been some rumors. There have been some other people that have come up with some machine learning stuff, but it seems like, at least according to Medium.com, which is, fairly well-known, a fairly well-known publication, a Google Brain program is learning how to program. So the idea of using machine learning to teach programs how to automatically write or modify code has always been tempting for computer scientists. The feat would not only greatly reduce engineering time and effort, but could also lead to the creation of novel and advanced intelligent agents. So, oh boy. Oh wow, I'm getting a lot of notifications here all of a sudden in my window. Nice video. Okay, can you stop? Let me turn off notifications. Here we go. So, yeah, this is, I don't know how I feel about this. I think that there could obviously be some good uses for this. There could be some excellent usage of this, but my primary concern, I suppose, is, man, what are we going to do, if this runs away, right? Because it's very easy for programs to just kind of suddenly find some little thread of something and just take off and go in a completely unexpected direction. So I admit I am a little bit worried about that. Obviously anything can happen. Maybe it's going to be perfectly fine. And after all, the machine learning does have to be programmed by some sort of programmer. So I think we're all right? I think we're probably going to be just fine. But I do think that this probably scares a lot of people, right? The chance that we could be, replaced, right? I mean, it's really a scary thought, isn't it? Okay, so the next one, VS Codium. So there's been a recent change to, well, VS Code is really one of those best editors. I love it. It's been kind of my go-to editor, and I like it because of its simplicity, the way that you can go just simply get plugins for a variety of different languages. You can easily slip back and forth from JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, and C# and PHP, and Ruby, and Java. You can easily switch back and forth between all these different languages just seamlessly. So Visual Studio Code is great, but a lot of people do have some problems, just mostly that come from it being a Microsoft product, right? So with Microsoft Visual Studio Code, you've got this built-in proprietary telemetry and tracking, and that scares a lot of people, right? Yes, I need more coffee. Thanks, babe. I think that this is a bit of a concern that a lot of people have with Microsoft is what are they tracking? And it's the same kind of concern that I think a lot of people have with all the big name companies, the Googles, the Facebooks, the Microsofts, you name it. There's some questions there about what are they tracking. So here we've got this new VS Codium, which is essentially doing the same thing as Visual Studio Code, but it strips that part out. It takes out that Microsoft telemetry code. So if you're really looking for an internet development environment that's going to give you, uh-oh, sounds like I'm in a cave. Ooh, it should be, uh-oh. I tried testing this and seeing what it sounded like beforehand. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll have to address that at another time. But anyway, so Visual Studio Code has this VS Codium project that basically just kind of rips out that telemetry of Microsoft. Okay, so next up we got the announcement of ML.NET Release Candidate 1. So machine learning is obviously a big deal, but also what language are you going to do it in? What is the framework that you're going to use? And doing .NET is obviously a very appealing thing for a lot of us. A lot of us want to use .NET for machine learning, and we really haven't had that much of platform support from Microsoft. So having ML.NET come in is really kind of an exciting exploration for us on the .NET side. All right. And again, I will leave all of these links up in the description once once the video gets updated. What is going on with my video stream, huh? Or with my audio stream? I think I should be set properly for the microphone to be set to, should be my Yeti. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure why. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is string versus string. So this is a bit more technical and in the weeds, but this is a pretty good article, really kind of describing how some people don't know that there's a difference between lowercase s string and capitalized case s string. And so there's kind of this paranoid coding. It's interesting. I like that. So Jared here goes through and kind of talks about the difference between the capital S string and the lowercase s string. So for example, he kind of gives like this code example how you can actually overwrite, because one of the things that you can do is you can overwrite operators. And here he gives an example of how you can overwrite capital S string, receiving a lowercase s string, and simply return null for that. So you may think that you are setting a variable here to, you're setting the variable s to hello world to an actual string, but what ends up happening is that function actually just simply returns null, or that operator returns nothing. So that's not exactly the behavior you want. And what his point is that since the capital S string operator can be overwritten, and really actually, you can do some things to overwrite the lowercase string too, but it's much more difficult. It's a bit more complicated, but you can just kind of overwrite the capital S string, and you can get some crazy side effects because you don't know exactly which one of those operators is going to hit it if you're not careful. And this is especially true if you're in a very large code base, but also if you're like pulling in other projects, you're pulling in other libraries to work with in your application, you might accidentally pull in something that somebody overwrote that, and now you're having some side effects that you're not aware of. So he just kind of goes through the differences there. And here's a good example too. That will error 100% of the time because the compiler will be able to check it, but this might not error, right? Because you're using a capital S, and of course that could be overwritten, so you don't really know. All right, so those are basically the articles I had for you guys this morning. I was hoping to see if some of you guys might want to call in live and share with me your thoughts, your stories, and what's going on with you guys. If you haven't already seen, there is a description link down in the In the description, there should be a link if you want to come and join today's broadcast and call in live and chat with me directly. Mano a mano or wamano mano. I don't know exactly how that works. Go ahead and stop my sharing there. All right, so what do we got for questions so far? Let me take a look at what is in our live control room. So, JC Bimar, wow, I'm just going to stop myself right there. I am not going to be able to pronounce your name. I am so sorry. I feel terrible that I can't pronounce a lot of the names for the wonderful folks that come and join me. I really apologize, but okay, I'll give it a shot. JC Bihar, Muzafarpur, Jitendra Kumar. I hope I got your name right. I imagine you probably hate the fact that people don't get your name right. Or maybe in your country, they get it right all the time. I'm just a silly American. I'm sorry. Can I just call you Kumar? I mean, that seems maybe JC. But he said, JC says, nice. Thank you. Nice. Okay, and then we have my lovely wife saying, I need more coffee, and that is probably absolutely true. All right. Joseph here says, good morning. Sounds like you're in a cave. So I saw that comment, and I'm not really sure what might be going on there. But my viewership is quite low, apparently. And I think that very well may be the cause for it. I'm not entirely sure, so maybe we'll do something. I did get 2 likes on this video, though. That's crazy that I only have 5 viewers and only 2 likes, and absolutely nobody's talking to me. Sound a bit echoey, but not so bad. Okay, well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. So again, if you guys want to call in live and you guys want to have a conversation with me directly, there is a link in the description below. If you guys can't find it, let me know. It should be there. But that way you guys can actually talk to me and ask me your questions directly if you don't want to just type them out in chat. So I just thought it would be a great idea. All right, our first question, Joseph Scott Adams. By the way, Scott Adams, that you can't possibly be the Scott Adams. Ooh, Chrome was defaulting to 144K under auto. Ooh. I'm not really sure why. Lower than the recommended rate. That may just be Google Hangouts, because usually my stream is pretty good. I'm going to try to work on some sort of different setup. Maybe we'll do like a Skype call-in, or I got to find something that ties in well with OBS Studio. I think Skype has like a plugin that you can do to do that. But I thought the Google Hangouts I've done before and had done live interviews with it. So it's not my internet connection. My internet connection is really, really good. So it's probably something to do with Hangouts, unfortunately. Okay, so Joseph Scott Adams says, I have an active access app just for myself, but I keep breaking my app because I'm still learning to code, and I'm always going back and making my code better. Any advice? Yes, keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, keep doing it. you got to keep working at learning how to code in order to get better, right? You find all of these little tricks and things, and I could do all sorts of videos on how to do things better and how to code better. But the bottom line is there's nothing like experience, right? That actually getting your hands dirty, actually working with the code, finding out what the problems are, and trying to solve those problems in creative ways, and doing the research, doing the Google searching, doing the scanning Stack Overflow in order to find out how to solve problems. You start to develop a knack for just kind of like, how do I solve these issues? How do I, where do I go to look to solve these issues? What kind of keywords do I need to put into Google? I think that's one of the most underrated skills that you could possibly have, is how well do you do your research? How good are you at just, popping in those correct keywords? I remember when I was first starting out, I say first starting out, when I first started doing this as like a full-time job, and if I ran into a problem, I would go talk to somebody that was above me, trying to get some help. And it always annoyed me because all they would really do is just open up Google and then type in a few keywords and it's like, here's an article, go read. I'm like, oh man, I wanted the answer. Why can't you just tell me the answer? But I think what it was also a little bit of they didn't know either, and they just wanted to like find the answer and send me on my way rather than trying to actually answer the question. And I think even to this day, I still do that a little bit. You know, it's like I don't really have a lot of time to discuss this with you guys, but here's an article. Go read, go research, go learn. And that's a very valuable skill in this industry, being able to go find the answers, go do the Google research, go, what are the keywords that you're going to put in this thing in order to go find the answer, right? That is just really, really important to do. Okay, well, we're not getting a whole bunch of questions. Again, it's probably because the audio may be a little bit echoey, or it sounds like it's under 144K. On the video stream. That would be absolutely terrible, and I don't blame anybody for leaving. Okay, I will have some questions for you guys. I'd like to hear your feedback on this. So I have been trying to do these morning broadcasts with Coffee with Steve for the last week, about a week and a half, and it's an idea in order to try to gain some consistency with you guys and try to give you something every day to come in and talk to me, right? I'm wondering if has that really been what you guys want? You know, I'm always looking for new ways of trying to reach out to you guys and give you the content that you want, something that's going to keep you guys coming back. So do you like these coffee? I mean, obviously you guys that are joining me now are probably going to say, oh, of course, yes, because you're here right now, right? But I definitely saw like there was a lot of interest at first. There was a lot of, I think I had like 20 viewers for my first one or two. And then out of nowhere, it just seems like everything dropped off. Now, that could have been the quality, could have just been, you know, the production quality. It could have been the topics I was covering. It could have been I just was not professional, and maybe I just need to get more professional with it. You know, especially for me, just trying to start this out. I am not a professional broadcaster. I have no experience in broadcasting. I have no experience with editing. I have no program, you know, like I don't have any real experience doing this kind of work. I'm just a programmer, you know, I'm just a software developer that I have a pretty vocal voice and I'm pretty opinionated. People sometimes listen to me. So I thought, what the heck, why not try to do this stuff? And it, you know, a lot of you guys have liked it. So I'm just kind of curious. Do you like having this Coffee with Steve in the morning? You know, tried it for a week. Is it something you guys would definitely continue watching and continue listening to? Or is this kind of one of those things where it would be better if I'm okay with Coffee with Steve, but it would be great if it was just like a pre-recorded thing, kind of like some of the other videos that I do where I pick a subject and I talk about it. Or are you more interested in just strictly the how do I do programming, right? What are those various topics, the tutorials, right? So I'm curious on your guys' thought. Okay, so Scott Joseph Adams 39 says, would you say that if you reuse the same code more than once, it needs to be its own subfunction? So there's generally a 3-time rule. If you use the same code 3 times, then yes, it should be its own function. 2 times is forgivable, but obviously starts to make you think, is this something that should be expanded into a function or subroutine that can be reused? Whereas if you do it 3 times, then it's really kind of, yeah, you should definitely go ahead and move it. Okay, Kent Dutroux. I got it right that time. I think I got it right? Kent Dutroux. And by the way, I want to say SAA Consulting, before I take your answer here, or your question here. SAA Consulting and Kent, I really, really want to thank you guys for joining up and being members. For those of you guys who are watching this video, it's just $5 a month. And you guys get a special discount. Now, that also reminds me, I have a special discount at my Teespring store going on for this week and this week, starting all the way until the 19th. The reason why this promotion goes until the 19th is because my birthday is on April 19th. So you guys have a week to get 20% off at my Teespring store. So if you want to get that 20% off, all you have to do is you enter in the promo code of EasyProgramming20. Okay, EasyProgramming20. At least I think that's what it was. Easy. Oh no, I'm sorry. EasyMember20. Boy, I better have that written down next time. Easy Member 20. So if you put in Easy Member 20 in the promo code section at the Teespring store, you get 20% off. So that's a really good deal. Most of the time, my members only get 10% off, but I figured since I've got a week leading up to my birthday, you guys can go ahead and get 20% off. And that's for everybody. You don't have to be a member. As anybody at all that watches this video, you guys can go into my Teespring store right now and get 20% off if you use that promo code all the way up until my birthday next Friday, April 19th. Okay, so sorry, Kent, I didn't mean to distract from your question. The Visual Studio 2019 doesn't seem to want to work with FTP servers anymore. To work on my website, I have to stay with 2017. Do you have any knowledge on this? All right, so why don't you just use FileZilla? I think that would probably be your best bet. Just use a different FTP server, or I should say FTP client. FileZilla is probably the most well-known free FTP service client that you can use out there. You can use FileZilla to host. You can also use FileZilla in order to connect as a client. So what you just simply do is just an extra process, right? So you just save all of those files and just export them or save them in your folder that you're storing in that, and then you just use FTP in order to upload them. So you just it's just like an extra additional step. If I haven't heard that FTP servers aren't supported by Visual Studio 2019. I haven't heard that. Maybe there's like a plugin or something for that. I don't really know. But that's news to me. So if that really is the case and there's really no plugins or anything for it, then you could just use FileZilla. I typically would do that anyway, just simply because it would give me a little bit more flexibility in when I do those uploads and when I do those pushes. And we could actually set up, one of the things that you can do is you can actually set up like scheduled times to go and do those pushes. You can script out FileZilla. You can write out a script to have FileZilla go at a certain time, and then you put that in your scheduler. And that was something that we would do regularly because we want to push those updates at a different time at night or something when nobody's on. So actually moving that into its own separate process was really, really valuable. But if you're really looking to absolutely make sure that you can still do it in Visual Studio, then I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that. Might be worth looking up. See, right? I should take my own advice. If I don't know something, look it up. So let's go take a look. Let's so Visual Studio 2019. Here, I'll switch over and share my screen. Gotta find the right buttons to click. Share screen. I don't know why it doesn't link. Oh, there we go. Screen 3 is wrong. I think it's this one here. All right. So here we are, Visual Studio 2019, and we're looking for FTP. Ooh, developer community is all over this apparently. Bring back FTP connectivity in 2019. Thank you for not taking time to provide your suggestion. We do some preliminary checks to make sure we can proceed further. You'll hear from us in about a week or next steps. Wow. So yeah, it does look like it is not in Visual Studio 2019. I think that is a shame. I don't know why you would take something like that out. Our teams prioritize actions for product issues with broad customer impact. See details in case you need answers to common questions or need it. Yeah. Give me the corporate answer. I don't know why you would take that out. I mean, FTP is far and away a huge, huge part of our pipelines. I mean, just because not everybody does CI/CD doesn't mean, or just because CI/CD is really good, and we have all these tools in order to use GitHub and push out our code base and stuff. Like, why would you just drop something like this? I don't know. That Microsoft, right? This is Microsoft for you. They love to do this kind of thing. Like, hey, there's this really great feature that everybody loves to use, or a huge part of your base loves to use. Let's drop it. I mean, why not? What harm could it possibly cause? Oh my God. All right, so what else we got? Also, Chrome is defaulted. Yes, I read that. Ken, I hope that answers your question, by the way. I would definitely go to FileZilla. I'd use a separate process. I, again, use a separate process all the time. SAA Consulting. Regarding machine learning replacement, etc., there will always be need for problem solvers that can communicate with people and find out where it hurts and how they can help. Yeah, so this is like, so you're talking about like not just the machine learning, but also this announcement that was a Google brain is going to be programming or learning how to program. And you know, is that going to replace us? Is that going to replace us as developers? And it's an understandable concern, but yeah, I kind of agree with you, Steve. There's always these like technological revolutions that happen in our society. And whenever they happen, there's always that sector of people who are really deeply affected by that change in technology. And the bottom line is, can they find some other avenue? Can they find some other work? And there's this displacement of people in the job force, right? That's a very big concern, not just for those people that it affects, but the economy in general. So when things like this come down the pipe that could potentially really just like wipe out a big sector of people and their jobs, a lot of people start freaking out because we're going to lose our jobs. Or there's a bunch of people that are going to lose their jobs and it's going to destroy the economy. And that is a very strong potential here, right? If machines are able to do the programming themselves, which it makes sense that they would be able to at some point, because you know they're getting smarter and smarter every day. How do we go about, or how is that going to affect our society? And what are we as developers? What are we supposed to do to find work instead of what we were doing, because our jobs have been simply replaced? And the bottom line is, those at some point, it all starts to work out, right? Somewhere along the way, those people start finding other jobs. They find other things, other avenues to get them going. And the bottom line is, like us developers, we are problem solvers. We are really, really good at engineering things and crafting things. So if there's one group of people that is probably the most resilient to this kind of change, it would be us. So to me, I don't necessarily think that it's going to be that big of an issue, even if it like wipes out half of us programmers and half of our programming jobs. We're all going to find other work because that's who we are. That's kind of our nature, is we like to find ways to solve problems. And if anything, this could just possibly just boost our productivity, because somebody has to program those machines, right? Somebody has to give them the code in order to learn. You can't just build something and all of a sudden everybody just has nothing left to do it, or doesn't have to have any sort of maintenance on it, or you know, it typically improves our productivity. We always have, each one of these technological revolutions improves our abilities as a society, and we just have to simply compensate for that, right? We have to find ways of utilizing that technology because it has improved society greatly. We have to adjust to that, and it's upon us. It's upon us to find ourselves a way to get around that. If we can find ways as a society to help each other in that process, all the more fantastic. But it is not the responsibility of society to like solve all of these problems ahead of time. All right. Musa Jahoon says, Steve, you are awesome. You're awesome. Thanks for all the tutorials. Musa, you made my day. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And you know, it's funny. I know you're most likely from some other country. You're probably not in the U.S. But if you are in the U.S., you know, great. But it's amazing to me when I see all of these followers that I get that are from some other country, like India or Pakistan, or I've even had Afghanistan people, from Iraq. I've had from Australia and Japan, and I'm just amazed that this type of platform that we have on YouTube can reach so many people, and that a voice like mine, which, you know, I consider myself kind of a nobody, right? I'm not really anything special. I'm not some celebrity, but I can broadcast on my computer here at home, set up a microphone and a camera on my computer, and I can talk to you guys. Like, that is awesome. That's just a whole other thing that I'm amazed by, because I remember the technology that we had where, you know, I predate beepers, right? I remember rotary phones. I remember the good old-fashioned snail mail, right? When there was no such thing as email. Those are the things that I remember. Those are the things that were happening when I was growing up. So having this technology in my lifetime to just broadcast and talk to people all over the world, and essentially for free, right? I mean, there's almost no cost in this. It's amazing to me. Think of like what kings and queens of the 13th or 14th century would say about what we're able to do right now. Got to get that coffee in. Okay. So I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. Rolandaloo, you're welcome, man. I'm glad to be your access teacher. I hope you also learn other things from me too, besides just that. I do want to give you guys who stuck around a sneak peek though. So I'm going to cut off on the questions there, but I do want to give you guys a sneak peek at something I'm working on. You know me, I always try to come up with new ideas, new things to try. And I've decided to try to do something a little bit, maybe out of my comfort zone, but just something kind of a little different. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a couple of still shots of something I've been working through. So you get this one, my resume, I cook real good, I can walk your cat. Oh, I should share this, right? I need to share. Steve, you're not being a very good sharer. Share screen. Which one? Where'd you go? Uh-oh. Here, I will do, I think it's this one over here. All right. So you don't see anything yet. Let me bring it over. There we go. My resume. I cook real good. I can walk your cat. That's my resume. Just a little sneak peek there. I got one more for you. Just another still slide. So I'll be revealing this video. Once I get it done, I will definitely put it up. But I just thought I'd give you guys a sneak peek at something I'm just kind of working at, just trying to dig into. It's a little different, right? It's a little different, little cartoony thing. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I know I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And because I'm having a lot of fun doing it, I will probably end up doing a lot of these, especially if you guys like them, right? If these are things that you guys end up really liking too, then I'm definitely going to do a lot more of them. Okay, so one last time, I just want to remind you guys, Easy Member 20. That is a promo code on my Teespring store. If you guys are looking to buy some merch, if you guys are looking for a mug just like this one, so I've got my coffee mug here. Right? It says, oh, it's reversed, but it says if prog equals easy. Oh wait, it's reversed on my screen. I don't know if it's reversed on yours. So if prog equals easy, return 0, else go to programming made easy. And then on the back, of course, where is that go to? Well, that go to is that designation right there, programming made easy. All right, don't spill your coffee, Steve. So that's just my coffee mug that I made. I'm also interested in hearing your design styles. If you guys have any pictures you guys want to send me, or if, you know, I know a lot of guys are into screen art or into making art for different broadcasters. I'd love to see some of that stuff. I'd love for you guys to send me some artwork if you guys are artists. Also websites, if you guys are working on stuff, working on projects, working on things, send me screenshots of that stuff. I love it. And maybe we'll share some of that stuff the next time that we do one of these live call-ins. I am kind of disappointed. Nobody called. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Everybody just didn't want to. Just said, want to do the live chat. Make me sad. So maybe next time when you guys are used to it, maybe you'll. Now that you guys know, right? Every Friday I plan on doing these things. So if you guys want to call in, you guys are welcome to. Of course, you can still ask your questions as normal. Once again, if you guys want to sign up to be members, it's just $5 a month. And you get awesome deals on the Teespring store. You also get direct access to me. You got a form that you guys can fill out, and you can send your questions directly to me. Send me your screenshots. Send me your databases, your applications, and ask me questions about it. I can review it and take a look at it. Sometimes they're even turn into one-on-one sessions where I work directly with you in order to try to solve the problem, especially if it's kind of more in-depth and complex. But the comment section just isn't really that good to try to answer those questions. I get those questions all the time, and it's like, how am I supposed to possibly answer this? All right, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me here on Coffee with Steve. I really enjoy doing this with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day.